Hello everyone. I'm gonna start. This might be the first. Here's my Bible. There goes my pen. This is a cookbook that started out as a very skinny cookbook that I gave my daughter in 2014. Yesterday I sat and I went through recipe after recipe and put everything together that I actually use. On this green folder you'll see it says thanks. That used to be just my Thanksgiving folder. I had a favorites folder, a Thanksgiving folder, a cookie cookbook, a baking cake cookbook, all different things that were my favorites. Well, right now this is my Bible. So I'm in the Thanksgiving section and I'm trying to think what I could scratch off my list ahead of time. On this on this cutting board, I have 1 rib of celery, 1 apple chopped up, 1 onion. I'm going to melt, I'm going to move you two over to that stove. I'm going to melt 1 stick of butter in this pan. So I make an apple onion stuffing. You don't have to do the apples. When I worked for Union Hall Inn, they taught me this dressing, that apple sausage. Hang on, I'm going to try to move the whole thing closer to the food because I'm going to be cooking over there. Just give me 1 minute. Oh boy. Do I have you in the food? No, I have my hand. Okay, so they used to do an apple sausage stuffing, which my family would, I would eat it, and my son would eat it. Maybe my son-in-law. But sausages we didn't do in our turkey, with our turkey dinner, so I'm not going to do that. That back pot is going to be homemade cranberry sauce. That's next. But I want to show you, this is an apple onion stuffing that basically is nothing to it. 1 stick of butter, 1 onion, 1 rib of celery, 1 apple diced up, and yes, I do leave the skin on. I, for all my life, mostly did this stuffing without the apple. Once I added the apple, guess what? I like the apple. I have a 42-year-old son that in 1st grade they asked what was his favorite food. And his favorite food then was stuffing and cheesecake. So stuffing is his go-to since he was a little kid. He would probably prefer it without the apple, but luckily there goes my salt and pepper to taste. This is just me. So I'm salting my onions and celery, mostly. Pepper. I don't do much. This is really a simple stuffing recipe. That stick of butter is almost melted, and I'm going to put the lid on this and hike the heat up a little to get them to soften. I want to hear about your stuffings. So, let that soften. Celery, onion was the stuffing I grew up with. Yep, the Pepperidge Farm. Pepperidge Farm, little cubes of stuffing. I've now found out that in the north we call it stuffing, in the south they call it dressing. They do it with cornbread. There's not one I don't like. My everyday 100%, 61 years, probably 40 years, I made it without an apple. I did the celery, onion, butter, a bag of this cube stuffing, and then I wet it with turkey stock. Put it in a 13 by 9. I do not stuff my birds. When I grew up, we had stuffed birds and stuffing on the side because we had big boys in the house that needed to be stuffed. I do not stuff my bird. I don't like stuffing in a bird. I like it in a cookie sheet. And then what I do after it's in the cookie, in like a 13 by 9, not cookie sheet, 13 by 9. I'm actually going to use this one, I think. I don't know if it's going to make enough. If I need a 13 by 9, I'm going to use it. If not, I'm going to put it in here. What I like to do in the end, when my turkey is done, before I've thickened the gravy, the drippings that are on the bottom of my roasting pan, I ladle a good 2 ladlefuls on top of my stuffing. So here's how I roll. I do Tuesday's pie day, Wednesday's normally side dish day, unless it's something like this that can be done ahead of time. And I'm going to put this out in my garage fridge, and it's going to taste even better because all of these flavors are going to meld together. Let it go more. Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning, I get up real early. I'm always up early. I put the turkey on early in the morning so that it's done before 11, 12 o'clock. That early. I take the turkey out, let him sit down and rest until he's ready to be cut up. In the meantime, I freeze up my whole oven. So all of my side dishes get baked, including this stuffing. So some of the drippings from the bottom of that pan, I ladle on top of my stuffing before I bake it. When I know that my family's coming and we're going to eat, let's say we're going to eat at 4 o'clock. So at 2:30, 3 o'clock, I start rolling with this oven. I have the sweet potato casserole, the mashed potatoes, which I'm going to make. Those are Pioneer Woman's recipe, 100%. My granddaughter thinks they're the best things ever, that I invented it. Pioneer Woman did. You can make them today, and I can put them out in the fridge. Our refrigerator's in our garage, which it's going down in the freezing temperatures at night. It's super cold out there. So you could put it in the freezer if you had to, but I don't need to because it's already, today's Sunday, so we're going to eat it Thursday, so they're going to be fine. I don't know if I'm going to do the potatoes today, though. I'm going to do stuffing, cranberry sauce for sure, and maybe a loaf of pumpkin bread. I'm still deciding. Anyway, so where I'm going with this is I bake my Pioneer Woman mashed potatoes, my sweet potato casserole, my stuffing, and then I have a couple of vegetable or gratin type dishes. If I make macaroni and cheese, which I think I might, baked macaroni and cheese goes in. There's enough room in the oven for everything because the turkey's already done. So this is going to go down in temperature. I tell by my nose when things are done. I could smell where I want to be. The stuffing, without the apples, would be just your plain celery and onion, stick of butter, bag of stuffing, turkey broth. I like that little bit of sweetness the apples give, and I also add in a handful of cranberry, so it becomes an apple cranberry turkey stuffing. I think it goes delicious with the main course of turkey. These are going to cook more as it bakes in the oven at 375. It still needs a couple of minutes, I could tell by the celery. I don't like big chunks of anything in my stuffing, so I like it to cook down. Caramelize, cook down, soften up. What do you like? Tell me what you put in your stuffing. So like I said, at Union Hall Inn, they did apple sausage stuffing. It was delicious. And I got used to that, and that goes good with, I don't know, it went good with poultry, but I don't know why the sausage, I guess the Italians do it too. Why the meat, you're having a meat, which is the turkey, so why do I put a meat in the stuffing? I guess that was my mindset. I almost could have just the stuffing and gravy as a meal, but we don't go there. So there's no sausage. This is mine. We're about to be done, so pay attention. It's real simple. One bag of Pepperidge Farm. This was the only one they had. I'm not picky. We're not picky. This one is the sage and onion. I think I've done the herbed one. So I'm going to turn the heat right off. So I wetten these all with turkey broth. And yes, you can use your own, drippings from the turkey the day of, but to me that just makes more work on the day of. And I will put drippings. Now this is probably 2 cups, half of that went in. On the day of, I will put drippings. Are you able to see? Yes. I will put the drippings of the turkey right on top of this before it's baked. I like it to crisp right up. It comes out delicious between the butter and then the actual drippings of the turkey. All of it. This dressing or this stuffing is also really good. This apple cranberry one, or just apple, or just onion and celery, but mainly the apple one is really good for pork roast. If you like to take a pork loin and slice it open and butterfly it, you could stuff it with this stuffing, and it's scrumptious. Make a pork maple mustard dressing. So this is my stuffing that I use for both pork or turkey now, because I prefer the taste of it. You might not like it. If not, I guess don't make it. I do like it. So it's looking like it needs more liquid, so I'm going to add more. I can tell because the croutons actually, I think I use this whole thing, to be honest with you. I'm going to. There's like a drop in here. They're going to absorb it all, and you want that. You want that moisture because it's going to dry out. When you cook it, it's going to dry out in the oven and crisp up on top from the butter. I'm about to add my cranberries. Somewhere in my kitchen I already lost a half an onion. I don't know where it is. I cut an onion in half, went and got the camera, came back. For a second I thought these were prunes. I don't think they would be happy if I threw in prunes. I eat prunes. Do you eat prunes? I eat a couple prunes a day, like 4 or 5 of them a day. You know why? They're good fiber. Yes, I am in full-blown fleece Christmas gear. My house is completely decorated beautifully for Christmas. You all know I had an operation last week, so I decorated ahead of time with my husband so that we could be prepared in case I couldn't decorate when I got home, which I am absolutely fine. I feel good. We went to church this morning, and if I do a little bit of this a day, then Thursday's not overwhelming at all for me. I plan it that way. In my Bible here, I'll see where I'm at. I'm breaking these cranberries apart. A couple more. In my cookbook, I have a list, which I posted the other day. You all might think that's crazy. I could already tell you right now, this is not going to fly. I need a 13 by 9. However, your girl is crazy. I'm going to use that because we won't eat a 13 by 9. There's only 8 of us that I know of, unless they're stragglers. We won't eat a 13 by 9. So I'm 100% certain that I can put some in here, and then I might freeze the other, and then I have stuffing done for a pork roast, which I have in the freezer too. So, where was I going with this? This is done. I'm going to lift it towards you. That's how it's supposed to look. The croutons, or stuffing, is all wet. You could hear that gush. You want to hear the gush. It's moist, and it's going to be delicious. And let's see how much I'm going to put in here. I'm going to spray it. That's very heavy. I'm not supposed to lift more than 10 pounds this week. That's been a challenge. We have a pellet stove. It's heavy. So I'm going to try to do it without lifting much. Let's see. Oh my God, it is heavy. Hey, it might all actually fit in here. It is going to fit in here perfectly fine. I was wrong. Wow, perfect. So this is a 9 by 9, so I wasn't sure. That's beautiful. That side dish, I could tell by the smell. Stuffing, apple, cranberry, stuffing is complete. I will pop a lid on her, put her out in cold storage. Done. Oh, that's heavy. Next is going to be all of these are getting cooked next. Cranberries. I'll be back. You have a great day.